evening, everyone. I would like to call the March 10th, the 2020 council meeting to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee.
Here.
Mrs. Walden.
Here.
Mrs. Shinholster.
Here.
Mr. Reynolds.
Here.
Mr. Mullins.
Here.
Mr. Chambers.
Here.
We do have a quorum present, so at this time I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the agenda, and I'm going to ask you if you will stand with me for the prayer and pledge. Gracious Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all that was represented in it. We thank you for the time that we spend in learning to do and to perform the ordinance and resolutions for this city. We thank you for how you allow us to have a meeting of the minds to make sure that we go out and we implement structure that will make Milledgeville a better place to live. It is these and many more blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. At this time, I would like to welcome one of our district representatives. She's now the district representative for the 6th District of Milledgeville for the Georgia Municipal Association. And I'm going to ask Ms. Tiffany Stanley to please come to the podium for me.
I'm here to present their coping plaque from the University of Georgia and Georgia Municipal Association. She recently went through the Robert E. Knox Junior Leadership Institute. And this is an institute that is only offered once a year to city officials. It's an intensive leadership program, multi-days that city officials can go through. It's very competitive. I think it's only offered to about 45 individuals each year. So I'd like to read the plaque. It says, University of Georgia, Carl Vinson Institute of Government, and the Georgia Municipal Association hereby recognize Mary L. Farm Copeland has satisfactorily completed the Robert E. Knox Jr. Municipal Leadership Institute. This certificate is awarded in recognition of attendance and participation in this program.
All right. So thank you, Ms. Tiffany, and I would like to thank the Georgia Municipal Association, who has really taken me under their wings and allowed me to learn and flourish during this tenure. So thank you so much. Well, at this time, I'm going to give our State of the City address. We might be a little late this year giving it, but it still serves the same purpose, to make sure we make all of our constituents aware of what we have done in the City of Milledgeville for the last year, what we have done great and what we have done well and what we're going to do better. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is a joy and a privilege and an honor to stand before you tonight as your mayor. As I begin my 3rd year in this role, I continue to be humbled to be able to serve you and this city, and I look forward to 2020 being the best year so far of this job. This job is not done alone. I have the pleasure of working with the wonderful members of the City Council to provide leadership to the work that is done in our city. City Council members, Dr. Lee, Ms. Walden, Ms. Shinholster, Mr. Reynolds, Mr. Mullins, and Mr. Chambers. Thank you for the work that you do to serve the citizens of our city and how you have undergirded me in the last 2 years and 3 months. Thank you very much. It goes much farther than that, simply setting policies and plans for our work. We strive to move our city forward, and I believe that is the direction we are headed in tonight. And I'd like to thank our city attorney, Mr. Jimmy Jordan, who also makes sure we stay in compliance in order to move the city forward. Mr. Jordan, he puts up with us many meetings. Sometimes he wants to say my children behave, but yet and still we get the job done, and I'm so grateful. Also, I'm thankful for Mr. Hank Griffin, who has came in and took hold to his interim position in a mighty way. This is not an easy job, and although he has worked for the city for numerous of years, it was a lot that he had to take hold and learn to as well, but he has done a terrific job, so I want to thank you as well for all of your hard work, Mr. Griffin. It's not enough to have plans and policies for our city. Someone has to go to give those plans and policies the energy to get the work done, and that is our wonderful city staff. No one works harder to enhance the quality of life in our community than our staff. Our employees are fiercely loyal and committed to our city. I would be remiss if, while I was talking about our staff, I did not mention that in 2019, our city manager, who throughout the course of his professional career served the city of Milledgeville for 30 years. I know I speak for myself, and I believe I speak for our city council, other staff members, and the city as a whole when I say thank you to Mr. Barry Jarrett for his years of dedication and his service to the city of Milledgeville. Recently, the city was asked about providing an advertisement in a publication. Because of the reason for the publication, it was determined that it might be appropriate to design an ad that embodied an element of history of the city of Milledgeville. Milledgeville Main Street Coordinator, and I always say her name wrong, is it Deanna? Dina Thornton designed the ad that you see on the screen behind us, and it is the words that are seen here that I want to guide my remarks to you tonight. In the city of Milledgeville, we are not resting on yesterday's achievements, but we're just getting started. What are some of those achievements? Let me highlight just a few of them that were accomplished in 2019. While the completion of service delivery strategy with the Baldwin County may not be an achievement that gives everyone a warm and fuzzy feeling, I believe it is one that has to be mentioned simply because so much of the future planning for our city hinged on getting it accomplished. Since last September, the city and county have worked what seemed to be non-stop in negotiations to get the agreement accomplished. Each government worked with an eye of doing what was best for the operation of their government, and for that reason, there were often disagreements in what the end result should look like. But even though this was the case, your city leaders, for weeks on end, discussed services, evaluated scenarios, weighed pros and cons, and analyzed numbers so that ultimately an agreement was reached. While these agreements, because there was more than one to get us to the completed SDS agreement, took a long time coming, I believe they can and should be the beginning of continued cooperation between the city of Milledgeville and Baldwin County to do what is right for all the citizens of our entire community. There's a lot can be said about getting that service delivery strategy agreement closed, but we're so thankful that each one of these people took time out to come to endless meetings to make sure that we got to that end result. And I want to thank them deeply from the bottom of my heart for everything that you guys did to make sure that we got that done. It is under this leadership of my leadership as the mayor, on our new city interim manager's leadership, and all of our staff that this got done. And when I say it was tedious because we had to reorganize, restructure, go back to the table, come back from the table many of times. Having said that, I'm going to go into our departments. So the next department that I want to talk about is the fire department. When Fire Chief William Collier arrived on the job in 2018, the previous city manager, Barry Jarrett, tasked him with the work of improving the ISO rating, and that is the Insurance Service Office Public Protection Classification. In its most recent evaluation, completed in early 2019, the department's previous PPC rating was a 4, with a rating score ranging from 1 to 10, with 1 being the best and 10 the worst. They improved The improved ISO PPC rating is a testament to the tremendous work and dedication put forth by the fire rescue members and other staff throughout the city of Milledgeville. Achieving the Class 3 rating is a demonstration of the city's and the department's commitment to providing our community with the very best fire protection services possible. The new rating, which took effect in August of 2019, may decrease annual insurance premiums for the residential and commercial property owners within the city and the Milledgeville Fire Rescue District. If you have not already done so, holders of insurance policies for properties within the service area should contact their insurance providers to determine how the new classification could impact their premiums. While mentioning improvements in public safety, the city of Milledgeville was recognized as one of the top 50 safest cities in Georgia by the National Council for Home Safety and Security, actually coming in at number 36. To identify the safest cities, the National Council for Home Safety and Security reviewed the most recent FBI Uniform Crime Report statistics and combined them with data from 2,831 law enforcement agencies to determine policy adequacy. The two variables were combined to create a safety score for each city measured in the study. The mission statement of the Milledgeville Police Department is that all personnel will strive to provide the highest quality services as a law enforcement agency to the citizens of the city of Milledgeville and shall be available for calls within the department service areas 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I believe being in the top 50 safest cities in Georgia bears out the fact that our police department follows their mission statement. Through the receiving of a community development block grant in 2017, the city has been able to complete improvements in the sewer system infrastructure to benefit residents in our city. The $678,277 grant, as well as additional funding from the city, provided improvements to the part of the system that serves more than 110 of the residents in the Klein Avenue and Oak Avenue target areas. The project, which began in 2018, will benefit the residents in the target areas by improving their quality of life through elimination of sewage-related issues often brought by the old sewer mains and household connection lines. Evaluations of areas for potential projects has already begun in anticipation of being able to make more improvements through the use of the CBDG and local funds in the new future. Our city received 2 special accolades during 2019 when our Main Street program received the Georgia Exceptional Main Street or GEMS designation, and when we were named one of the Budget Travel's 10 coolest small towns in America. With only 17 in the state, GEMS represent some of the best Main Street programs offered by the state and show a commitment to excellence and stable leadership in their programs. Each of these downtowns have seen millions of dollars in private and public investment with an emphasis on historical preservation, business development, and job creation. What makes a town cool? Budget Travel believes that it's cool to reflect the principles upon which the United States was founded, including cultural and ethnic diversity, the free exchange of creative ideas, and entrepreneurial spirit that lifts all citizens in a community. They also believe it's cool to boost a vibrant downtown, cutting-edge cuisine, and a community spirit that make visitors feel like friends. Having been selected number 5 in the top 10, we know the Budget Travel writers and now many others recognize what we have known all along, and that is Milledgeville is cool. Every day, we count on public works, water and sewer, and utility maintenance teams for many of the items that we take for granted until they are broken or not available. These teams work hard to achieve success with limited resources, and it is my privilege to share a few of their highlights. These teams removed and replaced 932 linear feet of sidewalks along the South Liberty and West Washington streets, and installed a community parking area along North Wilkerson Street. Completed repaired of a total of 70 street cuts and 625 potholes were repaired. Collected and disposed of 1,352 tons of yard, repaired 311 water main breaks and 95 sewer main breaks, installed new water mains in the Meriwether Circle, Liberty Street, and Washington Street areas. Produced an average of 3.8 million gallons of usable water per day, and treated an acreage of 3.2 million gallons of wastewater per day. While we are not resting on yesterday's achievements, I believe the ones that I have mentioned and many more that I would never have had enough time to mention need to be appreciated for providing a good year for the city of Milledgeville. Now let's talk about some of the new and ongoing plans and programs we're working on in 2020. While this is a project that actually started in 2019, we had to wait until the spring to be able to put the final touches, including landscaping, on it. This phase of streetscape involved completion of new curb, guttering, drainage, paving, irrigation, and landscaping for various blocks on Green, Wilkerson, and McIntosh streets. In addition to the items listed, we completed rebuilding of catch basins, and installation of a 40-inch cross drain system was installed on McIntosh Street. Landscape installation is happening currently, with expected completion date by the end of April. The city of Milledgeville is working with the engineering firm to complete a capital improvement plan for the water and the sewer system, as well as a stormwater system. These plans will take into account a number of measurements and evaluations, including but not limited to population and customer projections, water demand and sewer flow estimates, regulatory changes, and accessing the capacity and conditions of water, sewer, and principal drainage structures. When the plan is completed, the city will have comprehensive reports, maps, graphics, and tables recommending improvements, estimating costs, and prioritizing the projects based on the need, funding, permitting, and construction time. These plans will be used for years to come to upgrade and maintain the infrastructure for these areas. Thanks to 2 awards from the Knight Foundation Fund for Milledgeville, we administered through the community foundations of Central Georgia. 2020, we will see the construction of a pocket plaza in the middle of the 100 block of West Hancock Street, and the design of a park to be located on the green space adjacent to the Marketplace Pavilion in the 200 block of East Hancock Street. Both of these additions to the downtown area of our city will serve as excellent examples of the placemaking approach to planning, design, and management of public spaces. Through this planning approach, our city will be creating public spaces that promote people's health, happiness, and well-being. The city feels there is a need to create relationships with the community through increased interaction, with the overall outcome being better communication and community interaction. Working with the students in Georgia College strategic marketing courses, potential elements of this program will be identified, and the potential for implementation of these elements will be evaluated. Once this initial work is completed, the city will consider, in conjunction with the project students, how to communicate to all citizens in the community in a manner that is hoped to increase interaction with cities, as well as identify a comprehensive strategy for developing outreach for current and future citizens. The initial report from the project students is expected in mid-April. Throughout the state, city leaders are beginning to see the younger citizens as a resource for community problem solving, and we are no different. Because of this, the city of Milledgeville will be creating a youth council to work with elected officials and other city leaders to tackle important issues and to let them see their voice matters in our city government. We will be utilizing resources from the Georgia Municipal Association as well as the experience of leadership youth councils around the state to prepare tomorrow's leaders for today. Now that the service delivery strategy agreement has been completed and signed, it is time for the city to begin to take a serious look at what we want to accomplish in the future. Yogi Berra is often quoted as saying, "If you don't know where you are going, you might end up someplace else." In order for the city of Milledgeville to prosper, we must know where we are going and how to best get there. We will utilize a strategic planning process to determine what our vision is for the city's future and to determine the necessary goals, priorities, and actions, strategies to achieve that vision. Planning for the 2021 fiscal year was begun at our recent planning meeting held at the end of January and continues to be ongoing. Future planning for the individual fiscal years as well as long-term periods will continue as a means to communicate a community roadmap that we can follow in the future. So thank you for allowing me to share some of yesterday's achievements and our plans that we're starting for the future. In closing, I want you to know that the state of the city of Milledgeville is strong, and I, along with the city council and the city of Milledgeville staff, look forward to making stronger in the years to come. Thank you, and I hope you all keep abreast of your State of Your City address. Continue to let us know what we can do better, what you all would like to see us do better, and we'll continue to work hard towards the future to make sure that Milledgeville is on the map and that we're doing things right. Thank you. All right, you all have received a copy of the February 25th, 2020 council meeting minutes. Are there any corrections? Do I hear a motion to adopt the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mrs. Walden, Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Mullins,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. There's no old business or new business on the agenda tonight, but I would like to ask Carly Schulte to stand for a moment. Okay. And to encourage everyone to pick up a copy of the most current edition of the Milledgeville Scene magazine. Our Milledgeville Main Street Director, Ms. Carly Schulte, is being featured in the Success Under 40 section and is highlighted in our article, which provides a photo of her family, and information about her work directing the Main Street program. Thank you, Ms. Carly, for all your hard work and all that you do for the city of Milledgeville and Main Street. Okay. Is there any other business to discuss? Ms. Giroux, do we know what Georgia College class we have here tonight?
Which class? Dr. Wilkinson?
Dr. Wilkinson. Thank you, Dr. Wilkinson's class from Georgia College for his class always being present, to take notes, to ask us questions afterwards, and to even take some photo ops. We thank you all for coming out to make sure that we get that done. It is something we plan to do here is to encourage our youth, to teach them more about government and make sure that everybody's on schedule of knowing what we do, how we do it, and when we do it. All right, if there's nothing else to discuss, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So move. Second.
Meeting adjourned.